Hello, good afternoon. This is Sun, and this is
Chum. Alright.
Yeah. We're going to talk today about The Last Jedi, the latest Star Wars film to come along.
Yeah.
We've been meaning to do this video for weeks now, haven't we, Flynn? But we've only just really got round to it.
It's been Christmas and we've been either too tired or too busy to do it.
Yeah, too tired, too busy. Well, yeah. Nah, I don't know why. We just
Nothing's New Year's.
We've had better things to do.
All that.
He watched it and sort of just went on his way and enjoyed it. I watched it and enjoyed it, and then just sat and read internet comments about how so many people didn't enjoy it and got annoyed by it.
Yeah, we liked it. It was really weird how loads of people didn't. I mean, one of the things that people...
Spoilers?
Yeah, there's definitely spoilers in this. So if you haven't seen it, tough. Because we're going to be spoiling a lot, so, I don't know, click off the video or something. Or unless you've decided you don't care. But anyways, yeah, one of the things that loads of people were on about how that they didn't like was, I don't know, how there was a lot of how they killed Snoke. So that was one of the things that people didn't really like. And I will admit, at first I was a bit annoyed that they killed Snoke, but then I sort of thought about it, and it was sort of appropriate, and it sort of works well with the story.
He was a weird-looking man in a gold moo-moo. I wasn't bothered about him dying.
Yeah, and also now, with that film, everyone was, it was actually, there was loads of... When The Force Awakens came out, there was loads of, fan theories and stuff about how, I don't know, Rey is a Skywalker, or, I don't know, Snoke is Mace Windu. It's, and this film just, I don't know, goes against all of that. You don't find out who Snoke is, and you find out that Rey's parents are basically no one. And that's literally all there is, to these fan theories that people have been coming up about. Yeah,
they raised questions in the...
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. They raised loads of questions in that and just decided not to answer them, or to answer them in the most minimalistic way possible. But in a way that satisfied me. I like the thing with Rey's parents being nobodies. It was like people were saying... Snoke. Oh, we don't know who he is. We don't know his backstory. Everyone wanted him to be Darth Plagueis.
Loads of people won't even know who that is, though.
That's right.
It's only the. I don't know if we mentioned this in the last video, but you made a good point a while ago saying that these new films are for the new generation, because the original trilogy was for your generation. This trilogy is for the younger generation, and they're not going to know anything about things like the expanded universe and that. And when they hear that it's Darth Plagueis, they'll be like, "Well, who's that?"
Yeah,
I don't know. Loads of people. I mean,
he's mentioned in the prequels in the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but still, he's only briefly.
Apprentice, but yeah, I people. It seems to me that people need an explanation for everything. They needed a little scene between.
They want people to be certain people. I
mean, in the original trilogy, nobody really knew who the Emperor was, and you never really cared. Your main baddie was Darth Vader.
Yeah,
the Emperor was just there. I admit that I can see why it annoys people. It just didn't really annoy me all that much. And I really like Kylo Ren in this film. I really like Ben Solo, Kylo Ren. I thought he was great.
One thing...
He's a completely different bad guy to what we're used to.
Yeah, but one thing is that, with Snoke, why can't people just accept the fact that he is Supreme Leader Snoke?
Yeah, and that's it. He's nothing
That's
else.
it.
He's just Supreme Leader Snoke.
There's nothing... He's no one else.
And
he's not Mace Windu. He's not anyone...
Where was he in the originals? What we don't understand. He's a new character, but
it's you didn't say that about a lot of the other characters, people like Finn and that. It's just you accepted the fact that he is just the new character.
I suppose it's because Darth Plagueis is old and he looks weird. He's weird looking, and he looks like he's losing parts of his face. He's kind of he looks worse than the Emperor, really, in some respects. But didn't bother me at all that we didn't get an explanation about him. Don't give him monkeys. I would have, it would have been nice, but it wasn't something I really cared for.
No, not really. Well, I'm kind of glad they did it how they did. I'm sort of glad that they didn't really reveal anything about them.
Let's go against type and give our scores already, even though we're only 4 minutes in. 4 minutes already. This is going to be a long video, possibly, because we've got a lot to address on it. but we'll see. What do you want to? Do you want to wait till the end to give any kind of score, or do you want to?
I don't know. I don't really like giving things scores because I don't really know what's good and what's bad.
No, that's fine. I
don't really know that sort of stuff.
I'd give it. I think
you watch a lot of reviews. I watch the odd one every now.
I don't. Yeah, but my New Year's kind of. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. But if I had one, it was that I was going to stop reading reviews on films and reading spoilers because I do it all the time. I'm not doing it anymore.
I personally hate spoilers. Like I don't know. I get why some people read spoilers and that, but I personally don't want them because it just ruins when like the film comes out. It just ruins everything. Yeah. It just ruins the whole plot of it and all of. But I mean, it's like especially if say before The Force Awakens came out. Spoilers for that one, by the way. If like that one came out and someone came up to me and was just like, "Oh, Han Solo died," I'd be really peed off because like I'd walk into the cinema and I'd see him die and I'd just be like, "Oh well, I saw that coming." And it's like,
yeah, it's funny because Star Wars is one of the few things that I don't read spoilers on. I didn't read spoilers on any of the free films that Disney have brought out recently or anything before that. It's only like things, a lot of the other things like I read every week when The Walking Dead was on. I'd read the review beforehand so I knew what would happen. Which is crazy, really, and I did it with Game of Thrones as well. And I've done it with a lot of shows.
By the way, Rusty's down there.
Films. I've done it with films.
Dog.
I'm stroking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done it with films. But can I just go on about? Can I just talk about force powers?
Yeah, sure.
I did it. I was going to do a separate video to this, and I might very well do this. A lot of the criticism about the film is around two instances with using force powers. One with Princess Leia floating through space. And the second one was with Luke. Phase travelling? I don't know.
So, well, he was sort of like projecting himself.
That's it. Force projection. These are two things that people were losing their marbles about. They were like, "What?" Furious. Is that right? Losing your marbles. I think that's when you're going mad. Yeah, but it's a different. Yeah.
Also, it's like
losing their shit. That's what I meant to say. Sorry about the swearing.
In the films, like in the film, The Last Jedi, Luke even says that there's more to the Force than just moving rocks.
Yes.
Like, because that's basically what people are on about. They're just like, "Oh, I thought the Force was all about just like literally just like it wasn't really that much to it." But there is loads to it. If someone was, I remember Emperor Palpatine in the previous films. He was on about like how his master could resurrect people using the Force. He could revive them from the dead, and so that just sort of goes to show how powerful the Force can make.
The Force is unpredictable, and there's a lot of things. A lot of people moaned about the first film. How can Rey do all these things? Basically, part of canon of the Force is that when you're under extreme stress or when you're in a situation where you need to do something. You can project the Force.
Yeah, like second nature.
Anakin did it in the pod racing. Luke did it when he destroyed the Death Star and when he used to shoot Womp Rats back home in his T-16. They can project certain powers of the Force. People were moaning about Leia first of all. Out of these 2 points, Princess Leia in space, she gets blown into space, and because we all know that God rest her soul, Carrie Fisher passed away before the film was released. We all thought that was the end. That's how they're going to kill her off. That would have been a great way to kill her off. But as it turned out, she was lying in space, frozen, and she used the Force and was able to guide herself back to the ship. And this freaked a lot of people out. It was like, how can she survive in space? I thought the scene didn't take me out of the film. I thought I enjoyed the scene. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good testament to the actress. She has got Force powers. Everyone's like, but she hasn't been training the Force. How the hell do you know?
It's been like 30 years in between the films.
She's doing a bit for the rebels, but you don't know if Luke might have taught something. But anyway, she's managed to project the Force. So damn what. You could argue that she was the chosen one out of her and Luke. Do you know what I mean? They were twins at the end of the day. She's going to have incredible powers.
Yeah, they're both Skywalkers, and the Skywalkers have a very long bloodline of strong Jedi users.
Expanded universe time. In the Thrawn trilogy, I just want to make this point. In the Thrawn trilogy, Luke can fly quite long distances in his X-wing because he conserves power on his X-wing by shutting down life support and meditating. And this is something that is mentioned in the Thrawn trilogy. Admittedly, this isn't canon anymore, but this is from the expanded universe from many moons ago, before the prequels. And in that, Luke could survive in space by meditating. So this is not a new concept. I'd love to think that Rian Johnson read the Thrawn trilogy and thought, I'm going to do that to Princess Leia. But, people are like, oh, you can't like this film. If you like this film, you're not a true fan, and this is this is science fiction again. So and this has existed before. The same with the Force projection. Sorry, you can talk in a minute, mate.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about this because it's annoyed me. The Force projection thing. If a Force ghost, if a Jedi who is dead can project himself as a Force ghost, there's no reason why you wouldn't think that a live Jedi could project himself on another planet. There's
also it's
nothing
like
to think that he couldn't. So there we go.
Going back to that point made earlier about Darth Sidious' master, like being able to revive people. The Force can do many things. Darth Plagueis?
Darth Plagueis could do it, but Darth Sidious wanted to master it.
Oh yeah, okay. That's I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Sorry.
But that's what I said. Darth Sidious master.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that person, he can resurrect people from the dead. Also, Sith Lords can use lightning. How lightning is connected to telekinesis, I have no idea. But it's all to do with the Force. It's all connected, and all of these abilities that are shown. All we saw. We didn't see much of this sort of stuff in the original trilogy. Like, we only really saw telekinesis, and same with the prequels. We only really saw that sort of stuff. But that doesn't mean there's not more to the Force, because there's loads more. People that are really strong with the Force can do all sorts of things. They could probably, I don't know, they could do anything if they had enough power.
Absolutely. It's unpredictable, the Force. There's a lot of things that we don't understand about it. Let's talk about some positives. Who did you like in it? Did you think Mark Hamill was good?
I think Mark Hamill was actually pretty good. I heard from people that they thought he was going to be like the villain, sort of, but I don't know, I sort of went against that. But it's he isn't shown in the villain in this, but he is sort of shown to hold people back a bit, if you know what I mean. Because he sort of holds back Rey, but it's a little bit, but it's I know he sort of shows a clearer understanding of the Force in the sense that he's the one who's on about how he even said there's more to it than moving rocks, and that it's it's all about a balance of the light and the dark. There's no everyone all Jedis and Siths, they have a balance of the light side and the dark side, but they just choose one over the other. Yeah,
and he said that Jedi were arrogant, think that the Force was all about them. Basically, people were expecting to see grey Jedis in this film, and they kind of did with
they sort of did. Well, though Rey is technically a Jedi, I think that she'll eventually become a grey Jedi,
I think they both will. I think her and Kylo Ren.
I'm not sure about Kylo Ren, because I think Kylo Ren might be... I don't know. I think he might be too far gone.
I'm set for him to be redeemed. I think he will be redeemed somehow, but I don't know how they're going to do it. But I can see Ben Solo being redeemed in some way. I don't know.
What I think will happen is he'll sort of be redeemed, but he won't. He'll go into hiding or something like that, because it's just at this point it's obvious that he's not gonna I don't know. He can't. The goodies, the Jedi and I don't know the rebels. They're not gonna help him out because he's killed a bunch of them, loads of them. And he killed Han Solo, for Christ's sake.
And you could argue that when he nearly killed his own mother, he didn't. But
he was about to. And
I love little things about that with him, because he's such a conflicted person. He really bonded with Rey, and he sort of said to her, it didn't matter who she was. When it turns out that her parents are nobodies, and he said it doesn't matter who you are. Or anything like that. It's all, you should worry about yourself, care about I can't remember what he says.
He's it doesn't matter, your ancestry doesn't really matter, just focus on yourself.
And he cares about her, and I thought they were bringing a love story into it. They didn't. I'm glad they didn't, but it wouldn't have bothered me if they had that much. It was great that they had this connection. And that was another thing, how can they communicate with each other on this I thought that was great. I can't see a negative there with them communicating with each other through the Force. Luke did it in Empire Strikes Back.
One thing I want to say, this is the first, the first I can think of, the first instance where we've seen a Jedi and a Sith, two Force users that are bonded, if you know what I mean. They're sort of, because they were, I can't remember what the term was, but they were paired by the Force or something. Because they're opposites. They're like Kylo Ren is like dark side, and he's all about like hatred and evil and that, and Rey is all about good and all that. But it's like the way they can communicate with each other, they don't even want to. They even go out and say, "I don't want to speak to you." Like I think Rey says that she's just like, "Why are you here? I don't want to speak to you." And Kylo Ren, she's like, "I don't know. I'm just sort of here." But yeah, they're sort of bonded by the Force, and the Force is sort of forcing them together. If you know what I mean.
What was your favourite part of the film? Your favourite little part of the film?
Probably, I don't know. I really liked towards the beginning when they were destroying that ship that the bloke from Stella was in. The Doom ship.
You don't admit that you watched that, I know.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
What you mean.
You know what I mean, though. Like that big giant Doom. I can't remember what it was called.
A Dreadnought.
Dreadnought, that's the one. Yeah, when they go and destroy that was cool. Yeah, I like that bit. Yeah, but also when what's it, Finn and what's her name, that Asian woman, were escaping from that place, that was pretty cool.
You like that
riding
bit?
On those things. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, my favourite bit was with R2. When I don't know why R2 switches himself off these days, but he switched himself on, and Luke's refusing to train Rey or even get involved with anything. He's very much, I'm not involved. This is not my fight and all this nonsense. And R2 plays in that message from episode.
Yeah, that's a very good bit.
And honestly, my eyes were just like, I was like, that's just the.
Yeah, he plays he plays the message that "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi." That message from Princess Leia.
That was like,
yeah. My God. That's a very good moment.
That was amazing. That was amazing. That was my favourite bit of the whole film, probably. And I actually like the lightsaber battle where Rey and
Rey and Kylo Ren. That bit's cool with the like the red guard things.
And the bit afterwards where they're talking, and you think is Ben gonna turn to the light? You know, is he gonna change? Is he gonna? And a little part of me was like, yeah, but then he was like, no. I'm not. He's not necessarily bothered about ruling the First Order, but he sort of wanted Rey to join him to like do their own thing, wherever the hell that was.
Well, he wanted her to be with him, like to lead.
Yeah.
But
what to do, I don't know. It's quite weird, really. I was a bit unclear.
He was a little bit vague about that. I think it's basically like he just wanted them to like rule the world, universe.
Rule the universe together.
Yeah, no, to like rule the universe. But she was just like, no, I don't want to do that. But it's like, yeah, one reason, one thing that I really enjoyed about it, like one other moment that I really liked, was basically when Luke just completely schools Kylo Ren, like towards the end when like Luke sort of, it's like Luke's projected self, but he like he fights Kylo Ren, and then like I don't know, all the AT-ATs shoot at him, and he just gives that. I like that little sort of speech that he gives to Kylo Ren about how like Luke's not the Last Jedi, and that there's like I don't know, there will always be more, and there's always going to be a balance between the Force. Yeah, I like that bit.
That's brilliant.
That's a very good bit.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was great. Was there any bits that you didn't like in it?
Any bits that I didn't like? I don't really know, really. I don't know, it's been a while since we've watched it.
I thought the idea of them, the warp and flying, it was essentially a really slow chase between.
Yeah, that was.
I wasn't so keen on that, and there was little things that happened in it which I thought. To be honest with you, the things that bothered me, I got over them very quickly. Like with Luke really not being actually on that planet, I really wanted to see him unleash the Force, but then
I wanted him to at least take down an AT-AT by just like moving his hand or something.
It would have been out of character for a Jedi to murder loads of people. So a lot of people saying that isn't my Luke Skywalker. Well, Luke Skywalker's changed. He's an elder Jedi, and
also you're going to change in like 30 years.
He's still a hero in some respects. He's just chose to stay away because in his mind, he doesn't want to create more chaos. He feels like he's already created chaos in the galaxy, and he's better off not bothering. Do you know what I mean? But he's not. There's little parts of it, like that bit with R2 that I mentioned, where it is like, yeah, he's still Luke. And I disagree with Mark Hamill when he says that he said originally that it wasn't the character. I think they did it okay. I'm happy. I'm happy with it now. I would say though, with this trilogy that they're making, we had Harrison Ford in the last one and Carrie Fisher, and now we've got Mark Hamill. As much as I love these characters, I would have been a lot happier if Disney had gone their own way and not had them in these films and had something completely new. They could have had Ray and all them in, and they could have had. It could have been, but they could have done it, 1,000 years later in the same universe and had completely new characters. That's the only thing I'd say. We're stuck with what we've got now, and what we've given is fine, and I've enjoyed it. But I would have preferred. I'm quite happy with the way Return of the Jedi ended and all that. I was quite happy with all that. I would have much rather have seen a film 1,000 years later with like maybe the remnants of the Jedi again, or what we've got now, but like without the original cast. That's my only criticism. My only grill. You could have bought Luke back if you wanted to bring Mark Hamill back. You could have still bought a Force Ghost back at some point. I don't know how long Force. I'm talking about if they hadn't included the original cast, and they'd moved 1,000 years later. You could have still had a Force Ghost of Mark Hamill and Yoda or something at some point.
Oh yeah, Yoda shows up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was all right. They used the Muppet Yoda as well, which is good.
The Muppet Yoda.
he did silly laugh. Yeah, the buffoon.
One thing I'd have liked to have seen though, which we didn't. I want to see the Knights of Ren. Like they haven't showed up at all. Like because they were mentioned in the first film. They haven't been. It's like they didn't exist in the second film. I think they're just going to scrap the idea of the Knights of Ren. But
it's like I think Kevin Smith mentioned this in his review. The great Kevin Smith, he mentioned in his review. That it felt as though Rian Johnson was like sticking his two fingers up to a lot of things that were being done by J.J. Abrams in the first film. He did feel like that. And I'll be honest with you, the way these films, the thing that does concern me is the way these films are written. It's basically like they haven't actually written a trilogy, they're just making the films. They're kind of writing it on the go. That's what it feels.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like they wrote The Force Awakens and then they just sort of released that. They recorded it and released it. And then they were like, right, what are we going to do for The Last Jedi? They didn't really plan ahead that much.
You do what you like. Oh, you know what? There's a lot I didn't like about that first film. I can't be bothered to explain it. So I'm going to do my own thing and ignore everything from the first film. That is how it felt. So if I'm going to say that, I have got a lot of negatives about this film. But the fact of the matter is, it's Star Wars and I enjoyed it. And that's what it's all about. But like I was saying to you, that game we used to play where you draw the head and then you fold it over. I don't get to see the head. I draw the body. I draw the body and then you draw the legs. I like fold it and then at the end you open it up and you've got this really uneven looking man.
Yeah, he's got this really weird looking.
That is kind of. We were going to do a demonstration or some funny video about that one, but we haven't bothered because we know we're on a low budget. But that is how it
can't
feels.
afford paper and pen.
It does feel a little bit like that's how they write The Force Awakens. Well, they wrote this trilogy, should I say? It does feel like that. But what I would say with Force Awakens and now The Last Jedi, I do prefer them to Rogue One a lot more. I enjoyed Rogue One at the time when I watched it, but it's a film I didn't really care for, really.
With Rogue One,
it was a waste of time.
Yeah, with Rogue One, it was sort of like I can accept the fact that like they managed to get a hold of the rebel plans. I'm not really that concerned as to how they got it.
No, it was never a plot hole.
It was never really a plot hole. It was never really something that needed explaining. All that, like, to be honest, I was satisfied with what they said in the films. Which, they got the plans and they're like, yeah, many people died that day. So I'm fine with just those lines of dialogue. I don't really see a reason why Rogue One was made.
No.
But that said, I did enjoy it, and there were like some flaws that I had with it, and there were some things that I didn't really like.
It was fine,
but it was fine. Like,
I enjoyed it, but it was like a bit on there. We've got a Han Solo film this year. What are your thoughts about that? Nah, I know we didn't want this film.
It's like that's the thing. I think he's going to be the same as Rogue One. I think he's going to be like it'll be all right, but we're not really going to see the point.
We'll watch it.
We'll watch it. Yeah,
the poor guy, he won't have a choice. I'll get him a ticket. I'll go right. We're going to go and see.
I want to go and watch it, but it's like, it's sort of like well. I say it's like a Justice League situation. I mean, we were going to go watch the Justice League, but we haven't now.
I wish I had now, though, mate. We've made a mistake there. I wish I'd gone and seen it. I've heard it's quite good.
it's okay.
I've been told that I would like it.
I've heard that it's like it's nothing special, but like I don't know. You can watch it if you want.
I want to watch it with you, and then
Well,
I want to do a video about
it,
it.
but,
It deserves a video. I want to do a full Ragnarok. I want to do everything. I want to do a full Ragnarok one next.
Yeah, we need to do
Because
one of those.
I really enjoyed that as well. I
Yeah,
mean, I
same.
might as well tell you that was great. That was probably my favourite film last year.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic film. But going back to Star Wars, which we've detracted. What time we got on there? Okay, what can't we say?
It's over on the left, Dan.
25 minutes. This is too long now. But it's about Star Wars. Is there anything else you want to talk about with The Last Jedi?
Not really, no.
No.
Nah.
My initial viewing of it, I gave it. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10, but I'd give it an 8 now. After going away and whenever I watch anything, I have to sleep on it really. And I came home and I thought, God, there's so much I would have done differently. But then I had a sleep and I got up and then I had to think about it. And then about a week went by afterwards after I'd spoke to a few people who hated the film, and I thought, no, I'm going to defend this film because it's good. I don't think it deserves the bad criticism from these so-called loyal fans. They're talking out their asses.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like how. Also, like, I mean, going back to what I said earlier about what you said a while back, but this new trilogy is for like the new generation, and it's all these people that like watch the original trilogy, and they're all just like, oh, the original trilogy was better, and it's just like, well, I don't know. In some cases, I agree, but this new trilogy is for the new generation. And at the end of the day,
I think it's for everybody. I think it's made for everybody.
It's made for everyone.
The problem, I think, half the problem with these new films, Flynn, is that they're trying to please the old fans a little bit as well by throwing in Yoda and throwing in the original cast and that.
Well, yeah, well, I mean,
and I think it's holding Disney back by having to try and please everybody. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are holding sort of things back, but like at the end of the day, like a lot of the kids that are going to see this, they probably might have watched the original trilogy. Or they might have watched the other Star Wars films, and I don't know, it's something they can see in that. But I don't know. But at the end of the day, like it is sort of a kids' film. Like, I mean, the original trilogies, but like they were originally. Well, I don't know. I don't know about kids' films.
They're family films, but I know what you mean. They're marketed. Like, I think the thing is, we can't sit there and be snobby about these things anymore and go, oh, this is, I think at the end of the day, it is Star Wars.
At the end of the day, it's Star Wars, and it's science fiction as well.
It holds a lot. I mean, I'm obsessed with it, but I can look outside the box of something and go, that film wasn't necessarily made for me or for Flynn.
Yeah.
That film was probably made for a wider audience, but it wasn't made specifically for me or Flynn or a lot of my friends who didn't like it. It's not necessarily made for. It's made for a wider audience, and
also just because you don't like it doesn't mean that the film is bad.
Yeah.
Like, a film can be good, but it's just not your cup of tea.
We're not preaching that this film's great. We've said our negatives.
We're just
We've
saying,
criticised the writing and a lot of things about it. But I think at the end of the day, it's still a fine film.
I mean, we liked it. Us personally, we liked it. We're not saying that you're gonna like it.
Yeah,
you think you might, but
and if you don't like it, fine.
If you don't like it, it's fine. But we
don't
just
come out with silly comments.
Yeah.
Justify
it well.
Come out with silly comments. That's what I'm trying to say, because I've followed a lot of different aspects of this universe, and a lot of it again isn't canon. Although they keep bringing things back, like there's a lot of things from like the Jedi, from the Thrawn trilogy and the Jedi Academy stuff. Like there's similarities there.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, they were thrown into the first film, The Force Awakens. There was things there like, oh, these are the Jedi twins, like Ben and Rey, and they Jedi twins, and there was little things like that. And this is why people got a lot of their fan theories from, I think. But this Last Jedi film, like, no, we're not following these films after all,
Yeah, it's just sort of like, we're not like, it's like they've taken ideas out of the expanded universe. You can clearly see that, but like they're not the expanded universe. They are different. They do have their similarities, but they do have their differences. I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was a good film.
Me too.
Yeah, shall we wrap it up now?
Yeah, I've got to go and pick your mum up from the station, so I'm going to wrap it up. I think you're spot on with what you're saying, mate, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a good film.
It's a good film. It's a Star Wars. Wars film.
We liked it.
So
It was a good film.
if you didn't like the film and you want to stick loads of comments in the comment section, don't bother, because I don't give a shit what you think.
I'll have a look. Well, I mean, if you didn't like it for any reason, like leave it in the comments.
Give me
a good reason.
reason. Give me a good reason why you didn't like it.
Yeah, give us some reasons, and we'll try and justify it. But we'll see.
Some of the things, I get the thing with Leia a little bit. I get why people didn't like that.
Yeah, I can get why people didn't like some of it.
But ridiculous, but
yeah.
But like at no point did I think there was little bits like with Finn and Rose's story, but actually thinking back on that was fine. There was little bits of that where I was like, when they went into the casino and that, and there was where I pulled a face, and I was like, but like I say, on reflection. Oh yeah, the other thing as well, people were saying, oh yeah, but all they did in this film was fail.
Yes,
and
I was just thinking
that's
that.
the point. And I'd say this is where he because everyone was expecting Empire Strikes Back, but they didn't really get that. They got something a little bit similar, but other than the fact that it was a chase film, actually, there's not a lot similar to this in Empire.
Also,
other than the fact that it's a chase film and there was a lot of failure.
There was a little bit of like Return of the Jedi in there when Kylo Ren kills Supreme Leader Snoke.
Yeah,
sort of like when Darth Vader kills Emperor Palpatine. But like this film, the theme of this film is failure, because it's like it's not just that like it's not just Finn and Rose that fail. It's like Rey was almost about to fail with the Jedi training because she was accepting the dark side. Also,
Luke
Kylo
failed to
Ren.
train her.
Yeah, Luke failed to train her, and also Kylo Ren sort of failed like with keeping up the dark side, if you know what I mean, and he failed at attacking the rebels. Then the rebels managed to get away, but that was about the only thing they succeeded with. And also, they barely got away. There was only like 30 of them left. Like, there's really not many. And also, one other thing that people criticised about it was that, like, why didn't the person who was in charge whilst Leia was sort of asleep? Why didn't she tell Poe Dameron the what her plan was? And it's like, I don't know, if you wouldn't tell, though he is the best pilot in the Resistance, you wouldn't exactly tell him your plan to get away, would you? Because you never really know. You don't want to be going around spreading out your plan to get away from people that are like right behind you.
He didn't admit a lot, although we all know he's a good guy. He didn't admit a lot of trust with anybody. He did went against Princess Leia really, and didn't follow orders with her. So you're going to be a bit reluctant to tell him things.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And he was very much a rogue.
She's a busy person. Hold her. She's a busy person.
Hold her.
So people need to get over that. That was another thing that I just thought, well, you could have told Poe Dameron your plans, but like, oh yeah, we want to see a scene in the film where she goes, Poe, just get you to one side. Whispers in his ear, and like from then on in, he's a good boy. He doesn't do anything. There's got to be some plot. I mean, yeah, right. Some of the writing was iffy, but it's Star Wars. It's not Citizen Kane, which I found really boring. Now there's some good writing in Citizen Kane, but it's boring as hell film. It's a classic. Everybody who likes film should watch it, but it's boring at times. Sorry. Anyway, I've gone off on one. I don't know if you can somehow tip the camera to film Rust. Oh, you can't. She put her head down. But I'm trying to get her on the interwebs. That'd be great.
The interwebs.
Yeah, Rusty. The interwebs.
Have a look.
Interwebs.
Look at the camera.
Hey, little hero there.
Hey, little legend.
That's where I get to stroke when I'm doing these videos. Strange looking dog.
But anyways, we should probably wrap this up here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. All right. So overall opinions, we think it was good. We liked it, and yeah, if you liked it, then great. If you didn't, leave in the comments down below like what your sort of reasonings are.
If you want, or just don't bother.
You don't have to if you don't want.
Care. I don't care.
Yeah, we're not too bothered. But yeah, we definitely recommend going to watch this film, and I guess we'll see you in the next video.
Yes. Goodbye.
All right, signing out, and goodbye.
Bye.